Hello, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald.
I'm bored.
We're going to give you a review of Stupor Mundi by Quinn Games.
Yes. If you're watching this, you just saw our playthrough, hopefully. That is also up here on YouTube. Very close game. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on in this game, as you can see from this table. But we'll walk through our normal 5 categories and tell you how does this fit into our brand new ranking system here at Bald and Board Games.
The categories are the same, but the potential result has an extra potential result. And then we adjusted that recent. Shut up.
Result twice in the same sentence.
Stupid. But we adjusted it because there's a couple games that we personally felt were just okay, and we didn't think that our must-play badge really got our feeling across of what we actually thought about the game. All the math stuff we still enjoy. So the change here is going forward for any game that only gets 3 stars, you're going to be getting the just okay certification, which means it's not a don't play, but it's not one we consider a must play. It's just okay.
Yeah.
We are not going to go back and change the certifications that we have awarded to any other games who have gotten 3 stars that got the must play certification. You got lucky. You skated through our beginning process.
Trial period.
Yep, exactly. Alrighty. So, what are the categories?
Yeah, so we have our standard 5 categories here. We'll start with the storage of the game, dive into the rule book and all of the play rates associated, the components, the design of everything, and then finally the gameplay. How did it play?
Absolutely. We're each individually going to be scoring that at a 0 to 5 scale. And then we will take our averages of each of those categories, which will be the Bald and Board Game scores for those categories. And then we will take the average of that entire set and get the final score. And you'll find out if this is a don't play, just okay, must play, potentially perfect. All right, starting with storage.
Yeah, so storage here. You can see the box. There we go.
Can you see the box?
It's a big box.
We can move it in. Here,
No,
move people out of the way. Just move people out of the way.
Oh, really?
Well, because it's dark in there, so I want to make sure you get more light.
All right, there we go. We got a box. So this box, I'll pull these 2 out. As you can see, has compartments for everything.
Yeah.
So there is 2 expansions included in this game. One of them is the one in my hand, as well as some other stuff. So as you can see, all of the little pieces here have spaces for all the structures. All of the different types of tiles and cards and everything have their own space. Once you place all those in, you have the game board, all the rule books, and the character or the player trays go on top, and it fits perfectly in this box.
Mm-hmm.
This is literally what every game should be doing.
Yep.
Any game that has this many components, or even a little bit less, but a significant amount of different types of components, should have a storage tray like this. It pops out if you need it to, but it fits as it should. As it should. As it should.
Yes.
So this is probably the easiest rating I've given storage. It's a 5.
Boop. All right. I completely agree.
Disagree.
Everything has its place. The player trays and stuff, or all the other components, all have their own individual trays like this that stack on top as well for everything, which is phenomenal. They even went so far as to, for the lids on these trays, they have a little lip on here. So when they're next to each other, the rule book and everything sits on there and doesn't shift at all. For the players, you have this player board that sits right in there as well and does not shift. And on the note of not shifting, none of the components, I don't think anytime we've opened this, have been all over the place, shifted at all. This thing was designed to the T to fit everything perfectly.
And they thought the expansions through as well.
Exactly. That's my next point. Is a lot of games will have good storage for their base game, but then they don't have space for the expansions. There just wasn't any forethought in, hey, we're going to be doing expansions, or hey, we're doing expansions now. Like Awakened Realms is a bunch of expansions, but they never include storage in their main box for those expansions. And this one does all that neatly. Everything's kept separate. It's easy to find what you need to do. So absolutely a 5 from me as well. Superb. Alrighty.
No, stupor.
Monday.
All right, so next category up here is the rulebook and associated player guides and references.
All right. So the first thing I'm gonna say about the rulebook is I love that this has that linen finish to it. It has a very nice texture to the pages, which means that it's gonna survive this gorilla's hands as he flips through it. It's very, very colorful, as you can see. There are pictures for quite literally everything in here, and then just some fun artwork to add to the flavor. Things are very easy to find. It takes a second just because there's so much going on to like locate the section, but once you do, there's usually a picture or a word that points you right to what you're looking for. Very easy read to get through, easy to understand. I don't think we ever had to go back to this really to understand how to play the game. There was one moment during the game when playing, but it was our fault, where we're like, man, this feels like it doesn't quite work. It's because we were playing it wrong, and that's just because it's something we forgot, not because of the rule book. They come with a reference guide as well because there are a bunch of cards and symbols. This is phenomenal. Like you can look in here, okay, what does that mean? Very quick and easy to find what you're looking for. And the player aid is this nice, like press board cardstock material that has so much detail on this on both sides. And nothing is missing from this, from the steps of play or what you can do on here. It's even color coded based on the pieces that you put on the board, the great structures, or the expansions that you may potentially be using. Amazing. Another 5 from me.
Yeah, so for me, I'll go backwards in the books here. The little personal player aid, great. Again, on your turn, you have an action phase. You have A, you have B, it gives you everything. To Nick's point, I love the color coding for which expansion it is. And it's not even just like, oh, they chose purple because it stands out. Purple is literally the color of that expansion. Yeah. Blue is the color of the other expansion. So, perfectly done. Goes over, gives you the easy endgame scoring so you can glance at it and be like, ooh, how do I get that point salad at the end? I just want to make sure I'm potentially gathering as many points as I can. And then the end phase scoring as well. So, player aid, great. Reference guide here, to Nick's point, has all the cards, everything in it. All of these cards with the different action cards that you can gain are all numbered. So on the card, it says like B10. You just find B10 here, boom. Easy. You have the different tiles it goes through, all of it straightforward. And again, all of these here are expansion content. So they put it right in the main book. It's not a separate book like most games would include.
Yep.
So awesome there. Rule book. The one other thing, I agree with everything Nick said, that I love though is if we go to one of the player sections, here we go, build a structure. Actually has the symbol that matches your player board on what the build the structure symbol is.
Scream startle you.
I was like, someone dying, not my problem.
Yeah, that's
so it has the symbols everywhere. So it tells you what it is, nicely red highlighted header there with the symbol. And then again, it goes through the expansions in the same book. And then obviously the iconography on the back of what all the colors mean, what they all mean. Yep. So 5.5. No, perfect 5.
Perfect 5. All right, so now we have the components. And so the components are what everything's made out of on the board. So not the design yet. That'll be the next course that we'll go over, category course like reading food. The next category that we will go over, but so the actual materials that everything is made out of.
Yeah.
How you doing on components?
There's a lot of components. So right now you have the zoomed out view, you kind of see everything. So we'll start with the main game board components. Game board solid, cool material, solid, cardboard, does what it needs to do. All of these here are called edict tiles. They're just very simple cardboard. They did put like a little notch in it to make it a little more customized and it fits in the holder a little bit better. But again, it's simple cardboard, has simple symbols. We'll talk about the design later. These are also simple cardboard, but the benefit to both of these is they're not really being shuffled. They're being shuffled once pregame and then they're put out in a stack. These get just mixed up pregame, 3 of them laid out, the rest go back in the box.
Yep.
So in terms of damage, and same thing with these tiles here, you don't really have that issue. Because you're not touching them that much. The components here, awesome.
Here, let's go into the medium view for you.
Components here, awesome. So you have a wall structure, you have a keep structure, you have a tower structure, color-coded for each of the players, as well as the main gameplay of Frederick here. Solid material, mostly fits right into the spots it needs to go into. I love it. The cubes represent grain and stone. Usually I would complain about this because I'm like, oh, they're not customized. In this game, perfectly fine. There's only 2 resources, so it's perfect. You know, one is gray and one is stone. They look the 2 colors. It's all you need. If there was like 5 or 6 resources, it would be a different thing. The Augustuses, very great metal coins. We love metal coins. So, nice weight to them. Perfect. The other thing is the cards. So this is the one thing you're touching constantly. So you have a deck of cards for your hand. You have cards in a market type system here that you can purchase. They're shuffled a lot. You're shuffling your hand. You're playing them out and sliding them in and out of this board. These are not linen finished.
They are just slightly.
They're just very thin then.
Yeah, they're like the very slight.
They're very thin, made partially linen finished cards.
Yeah.
But again, very thin. So not all these are just gonna fold and bend very easily. So that is really the only component that I'm not a fan of. Everything else that is weaker of a component are things that don't need to be shuffled, so they're fine the way they are. I'm gonna give components a 4.5, just because of the cards. And it comes with a ring, which is awesome.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So everything is sturdy, which is great. My favorite pieces, component-wise about this, the player boards that everything fits into, was great design. They feel sturdy. They don't feel flimsy at all. These boards that you're putting pieces into also are very solid. They're not warping whatsoever. My favorite part is definitely the castles as well. Just like you were saying, not just in general, the whole castle structure.
Oh, whole castle.
Yeah, just those all together are just so much fun to piece, and I love when you play the expansions that you end up with like the different colored pieces and stuff. The fact that it comes with the metal coins as well is so much fun. You're trading these back and forth constantly, so you want to hear that ringing of the coins as you play. The miniatures on the board here, we're going to come to the spot here. Like, even these are fun. Like, these are very detailed, very small miniatures. They had no reason to get so detailed with something this small, but they did, and they're all different.
Yeah. And it's like each of our houses don't really have a story.
No.
They're just different. Yeah.
It feels like the miniatures do, which is a lot of fun. Everything else, is that hard pressed board, which is fine. It works just fine for it. The cards, yes. The cards are the one potential problem. They are better than a lot of cards, for sure. But because of the very slightly linen finish, you are shuffling these a lot. Like on some of these already, we've only played this twice, and there's a very thin white line starting to form on the edge of this card. That's right there. That's kind of worrisome, right? So eventually I definitely will get probably sleeves for these small cards to protect them. But again, you should not be required to buy something extravagant to keep your game in good condition if you are not rough with your game and if you take care of it. We are by no means shuffling these in a rough way whatsoever. This is just natural wear and tear from 2 play sessions. So that is a problem. I wish that these were a little bit better quality. So again, because of that, same thing, I also give it a 4.5. Yeah.
All right. So next up is design. So this is the physical artwork and iconography and everything of all the components, the game board, player boards, market board here, everything.
Iconography, I'll say right off the back, and I'll talk about it, gets a 5 for me. The design of everything gets a 5 for me. Like, it's so phenomenal. The medieval-esque artwork that we have on the board down here, the stained glass almost looking sort of stuff on the expansion items. The iconography is so easy to understand. Like, once you get down what like one thing means, you can infer what everything else means. So like when we were going over this at the beginning of the game, Board went to go to the rulebook to like read, okay, what's each one mean? And I was like, oh, well, this means blah, blah, blah. I've never seen it before. And it's like, yep. I was like, oh, this means blah, blah, blah. I've never seen it before. It's so clear and consistent. So like once you learn that this means for every tower, you get 4 gold. Every tower you build, you get 4 gold. Tower, build, 4. All right, so that means for every wall you build, you get grain. Cool. For every tower or wall you build, you get victory points. Very straightforward, easy, easy, easy to understand. And then all of the expansion stuff looks different. Like, I love this faded, where are we at?
You're good.
Good. I love this faded look to the back of these. Like, that's just so much fun. And this, when you are actively using this, right? It's very clean, it's fresh, the fresco is just painted. But then once you trigger this turning over, it's worn out. Like, time has worn it away because it changes the effect. It's been exalted. The effect is no longer as strong as it was beforehand. This was such a fun add-on to this game, and just the look of everything there is a great design. The artwork on the cards is also so much fun. It's so painterly and magnificent here. Like this, these like sad nights, it's just, and everything is just so different. But it all feels very medieval, which I love. That it fits in its theme. Even like the castle here. Is your castle? Like, your castle's different. Each of the player board's castles are different, which I just noticed. So there are layers and layers and layers to this that I'm sure we'll continue to discover over time. So yeah, like I said, sorry, one more thing to point out before you go. I love that Frederick II's castle is being built on this literal like stained glass window. It's very pretty. It's so much fun to look at. 5 from me again.
All right. So yeah, I'm not gonna harp on the same things or credit the same things. It was great. So yeah, so the cards, really cool artwork.
Touch on the freaking market.
Yeah, so cards, really cool artwork. We got market. You have the 5 different ports you're traveling, and it's the ports of Frederick's Empire. So you have Barcelona, Rome, Alexandria, Byzantine, and Paris. So you're traveling the empire as you're going to these different markets. So it's like you're actually trading different areas. And this middle board here, to Nick's point, yeah, all the iconography and symbology, very clear. They have these little custom pictures for each one too, which is fun. The pictures don't necessarily correlate, but they're still fun to look at instead of just having a white background. For the player boards, again, yeah. So you have the allies, which look cool. They're, I'm assuming, replicating actual people in that time period. You have the little castle here. You have all of these symbols that are very clear, as well as, we both love, this will come in gameplay too.
Yep. You
have this symbol in the back of the cards. It's not just a symbol of, oh, there's 2 knights here, or 2 swordsmen. Pikemen, actually, they'd be.
Pikemen, yeah.
Their spears are pointing to your actions. So you can do this action or this action if that card is right there. So a lot of thought went into this. Very good job. 5.
Nice. All right. The final category is gameplay. How does it play?
So the quick
shittily. We're done. I'm kidding.
So the quick overview of gameplay is each of us are trying to build our castle, which is right here. So you start off with just 1 wall, 1 tower. You are trying to, off of your player board where all the rest of these are. So for example, the keeps are sitting in these 3 locations here. You'd have 3 of the same color. You're trying to get the resources necessary to add them into your keep. As you do that, you're trying to gather ally cards, gather more cards for your hand that give you more benefits and resources and other things. You're moving your people on the center game board here to earn other benefits and endgame scoring potentially. And you're fighting against Frederick up top, where you're not directly dealing with Frederick, but you can gain an ally card, such as this, where it says, if Frederick has 3 or more walls, then you gain points. Or if you have more walls than Frederick. So that is all part of the things you have to consider on how Frederick operates. And you kind of can screw your opponent over. You're like, oh, I did it once. I knew Nick needed more towers. And I'm like, oh, I think they're tied. I'm going to add more towers up there by taking that edict. So a lot of things to consider, a lot of pieces of the puzzle. The one thing that is a gap, which he's going to bring up as well, is at the end of the game. What?
I know.
Yeah. At the end of the game, there's 3 ways to trigger endgame. You can either finish your castle, finish all of these cards where if you have to put another one out, done, or go or tiles, or finish all these cards. As soon as the last one comes off, when it cannot fill in a new spot, game ends. As soon as that happens, the game literally just ends. There is 2 things missing to me. One, a lot of games do this now, which 100% should happen, is if Nick was first player and he triggers endgame, I should get a turn. So that we have the exact same amount of turns.
Yep.
That just makes it fair, because if a new round started, he got the first player mark, he made that one choice to finish the game.
Yep.
Well, I'm like, well, I had a turn ready to go, but now I can't do it.
Yep.
The second thing is it literally just goes right to endgame scoring. It doesn't do the end of round actions that a lot of games will do, which I'll let you explain more at the end. So I won't take it all. But overall, the game's a lot of fun to play. I love, again, the comboing factor, where you can unlock the ability to do 2 actions. So I can do 1 action, I can move someone, which I did on one of them. I had a guy here, I moved him here, built something, and I got double sets of endgame scoring. So I love the ability to combo there. I love the ability of having my own thing, but also making slight choices, like what I'm taking here, or how I'm building Frederick, that impacts my opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give this a 4.5.
Okay.
The expansions also flow very well into the game.
Yep. Alrighty. Yeah, so the gameplay in general is so much fun. It is so smooth to play as well. And it's so fun to look at. There are a lot of choices that you can make in the game, but it's never overwhelming. Because while there's a lot of choices you could potentially make, it's more so, okay, what can I do with the resources that I have? You never get so many resources at one time to where you're like, okay, I could do so many things. What's the correct path? No, there isn't a situation where you can combo on top of each other to where you have to try and like do math in your head. It's like, okay, I'm doing 1, maybe 2 things when it gets to that point. And it's really just saying, okay, if I do this now, will that help me for later? And I think that makes this game very accessible, especially to people who are not heavy gamers, which is nice. The number of components would be definitely intimidating to people at first, and when they start to learn it. But I think once you've played it, it's going to feel a lot like something akin to Castles of Burgundy, where there's a lot of choices and things you can pick from. But once you get used to the round structure, it just flows. You're just kind of doing your own thing. And so this, I think, is something that, again, would be very fun for somebody like Bombastic, to where you're competing, but indirectly. To where you're competing by, okay, I'm trying to get the most points I can by building up my castle, by doing my things, and potentially affecting Frederick. And if that screws over somebody, oh well. So you can play it that kind of more casual way, or you can play like we played, where, again, I did notice that you needed him to have more walls than you. So there was the one turn where I got rid of his bonus and activated like 2 or 3 of mine in one go, which felt,
that was a huge surge you got that round.
Just felt amazing. I was like, oh, that was magnificent that worked out. So everything there flows amazingly, and then there's the different parts to it. Like this area down here is very different than anything's happening up there, and it's phenomenal. We didn't really see. I didn't see anything that really actively used this, where this seemed to be a certain level. It's probably one of the allies.
No, it is
as well.
But there's some that aren't in play.
That's what I said. It's probably one of the allies, which you'll see more of if you're playing with more players. So being that we're playing with 2 players, we put these out as blockers. So you definitely go through cards faster and go through allies faster. See the different types of them with a higher player count. But with that being said.
Oh no, be allies, that's right.
Yeah. So the same gripes in that when the game ends, it ends immediately, that you don't get the extra turn for the person is one. I would even go beyond that. A lot of games allow you to have a whole other, like you finish that end phase, right? And then you get a whole other, like at least action phase to do one more thing potentially. I don't know if that would exactly work here, but at least finishing the end phase or getting the other person their last turn for sure. But the reason why I want to finish the end phase is because in the game, you're building up your allies here. And it's going to probably take you most of the game to get all 5. And then the last move in the game could activate multiple of these to get you bank for points, or vice versa. Somebody could get themselves set up, and then somebody else's last move could take away all those points. So to get that satisfaction from either side of making sure no one gets those points or making sure that you do get those points, you need to do the end phase before you just end the game. And so without that, it feels like you're going 60 miles an hour, then someone just slams the brakes on you. And you're like, whoa. Like, there was no, like, slow stop to this. It's ridiculous. So that is my one issue with the gameplay, is literally the end. It just ends, like, abruptly, which doesn't feel good and isn't fun. It makes the last couple turns really drag on, because you're just trying to, like, whittle up some VP, because ultimately what you have on your board won't really matter. Trying to get money.
You also don't get VP for even having allies, unless a tile tells you otherwise.
Exactly.
Like that one up there.
Yep, exactly. So that's an issue. But that is really the only issue. It's at the end game. And so the majority of the game plays amazingly. The expansions go in real easily. They're super smooth. Nothing felt clunky. The expansions don't break any other part of the game. Multiple expansions don't break other expansions. There's really two main ones. There's these down here, which are like projects. These are the projects. Yeah. And this is like the postponed something. I forget what it's called. We have it. But you have two of them really, and they work very well together. What I like about this one is, okay, yeah, you can definitely go in on that and get those points, but the closer you get to the end of that pile, somebody could just say, you know what, I'm going to screw it up for everyone.
Yep.
You know, which is a lot of fun. Which
well, that's 100% what I did here, because as soon as you got the second one, I'm like, I can't let you have two of those in your hand where you're getting so many resources. Yeah. I'm like, I don't even want it, but I need to take that one.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I knew that. And so I was like, okay, let me get it now and bank in on it to do what I had to do. But all in all, so with all that said, it gets a 4.5 from me as well. Absolutely amazing. Just the one issue that pulls it back that half a point.
All right, so in typical fashion here, we will go back through all 5 categories, give you the combined Baldwin Board Games average score on that 5-point rating. We will then give you our individual ratings, and then the total Baldwin Board Games rating to see where in the new rating system this falls.
Pretty sure that's stupidly simple math.
Yeah, I know. I hate that. I should change my rankings.
Alrighty. So, starting off with storage. I give it a 5. Board give it a 5. So, Baldwin Board Games gives it a 5. Easy peasy. That was the easiest, one of the easiest ratings to give out of any game I think we've ever given.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal. Absolutely.
Yeah, for Rulebook, I gave it a 5. Ball gave it a 5. Baldwin Board Games, therefore, gives it a 5. Everything is there. You have a reference guide that covers everything it needs to cover. Mm-hmm. Little mini player aids here that help you out throughout the game.
Yep.
And the rule book that one read tells you what you got to know.
Magnificent. For components, I give it a 4.5. Board give it a 4.5. So, Baldwin Board Games gives it a 4.5. Again, almost a perfect score as well. It was just the quality of these cards, because you're shuffling them so much, are not quite there. If these cards weren't being shuffled so much, if they were like one and done and put them out and they're just there, that probably would have been a 5. But because these are being shuffled so much, these cards need to be top quality, top-notch cards that can handle that kind of shuffling.
For design, Bald gave this a 5. I also gave this a 5. Baldwin Board Games gives design a 5. Again, beautiful artwork, perfectly in theme to the time period in the Roman Empire when Frederick was ruling it. A lot of cool other components and things that how they designed everything. The structures are great. Phenomenal job.
For gameplay, I give it a 4.5. Board give it a 4.5. So Baldwin Board Games gives this a 4.5. Again, the game is practically flawless when it comes to gameplay. From how you get resources, how you get money, how you have to manage that, how you can manipulate it by going to the market, the expansions being added in, the way you get points, everything. Until you get to the end of the game. And it comes to a screeching halt, and you slam into that brick wall. Not fun. At that point. But most of it's fun. Like, really fun.
All right, so now going through our individual ratings. So summarizing the 5 columns together to get my individual score. So as board, my 5 columns is a 4.5 out of 5. Again, similar things. The game is phenomenal. Few minor things, the cards, the end game, One other thing I never called out, I just thought of, we talked about briefly earlier, is a lot of games have hey, you have currency, you can just, as a free action, spend currency to buy resources. That did not exist in this game. Which I know you had so much money here at the end, and you couldn't do anything with it. Yeah. Really. Other than buy cards, and you're like, you already had it.
I mean, that's what the market's for. Like, you have to choose to go to the market to use your money to buy.
That's true. That's what you're doing to get the resources, but
the stunted portion there is that you can only do each market action once.
Yeah.
Like, if you have the money, go to town.
Yeah. And like in theory, you could do it twice if you're sitting on that. But again, you need the money. But
exactly.
But again, overall,
do it,
solid game. We definitely will play again.
Oh yeah.
No complaints.
For sure. Not no complaints.
Well, no complaints other than the ones I already made.
Yeah. And then out of all my categories, my final score is a 4.5 as well. For everything I've said. So much fun to look at. Very easy to set up as well. And part of that's due to the storage. Part of it's also just how clearly everything's marked and how easy it is to understand how to set everything up. It's amazing. Definitely one we'll get to the table with other people as well to see how that plays. It should be a relatively easy teach. They'll have to reference the iconography a bunch, but that's standard for anyone who's playing a new game. So,
yep. So overall, on the scale of 0 to 5, Bald Board Games gives a Stupor Mundi a 4.5.
Yes.
Next to flawless, almost perfect, but that still qualifies it for
the certification of Bald Board Games must play. Absolutely. Phenomenal. Like I said, it was 0.5 points away from being a perfect.
That is the math.
It was right there. So to get a perfect, you need to get a 5 in every single category.
From both of us.
From both of us. And we round down, not up. So if you don't hit that next half mark, then you're rounded down to whatever the other whole or half mark would be. That's why this ended up at a 4.5 in this situation.
Yeah, and we've at this point probably reviewed about 2 to 3 dozen games. Pretty much all of them are here on YouTube. There's only been one game in all of those that have got that perfect 5, all 5 categories between both of us. Go find that on our YouTube channel.
There's a playlist for reviews.
Yes. But yeah, this is right up there. This is probably one of 3 or 4 only that have gotten a 4.5. So it's not something we give out easily, but it did what it needed to do to get the rating it got.
Yeah. The 4.5 is hard to get to. We have a lot to hang around the 3.5 range.
And it's usually one category that really knocks it way down.
Yeah, it's usually it comes out of like storage components, rulebook that usually kill the game. But Stupor Mundi is not that whatsoever. I mean, for the storage, because this is the proper review video, they gave you artwork in the box as well. That is phenomenal. Like that, they didn't need to do that. Why? This side of the box here looks like books. It's great. It has a nice.
I want to know what that looks like.
Little shimmer to it, which is amazing. So, if you have a chance to play Stupor Mundi, either this edition or the older one, I never played the original one. I assume it's not overly different. But if you have a chance to check out this one, definitely do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Find someone who has it, buy it, whatever, get it on your shelf. It is a must-play for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all for joining us here at Bald Board Games, where we reviewed Stupor Mundi by Quinn Games. I'm Bald.
I'm Board.
We'll see you in Frederick II's